So hang on, let me see if I get this right. You want me to do you a favor by returning an advent calendar? But aren't there only a handful of days before Christmas?
Cyril, hurry. This is urgent. We don't have a moment to spare.
Oh, okay. I guess I'll just head over there right now.
Brilliant. I'll be waiting just over here for you to get back. Now, go on, get out of here. This absolutely cannot wait. Now with Cyril gone, I can finally enact my plan to take over Superplay's top 600. It's mine, I tell you. All mine! It was the 1990s and the cult had just the right song for rockers, ravers, lovers and sinners. This was also the time when a very unlikable David Thewlis got naked, Victor Meldrew had one foot in the grave, and somebody thought releasing Mortal Kombat without blood was a good idea. Hi, my name's Lorne, and that's just one of the Super NES games we're going to be talking about as we continue our journey through Superplay's Top 600. This is the show where we're reading the verdicts and counting down every review published in the pages of Superplay magazine. Even if that means tricking Cyril into being away just long enough for me to take over. We left off last week with number 201, which means it's now time to look at the next 50 games, 200 to 151. I'm just here in time to save this sinking ship, it seems, but there's no time to delay, because Cyril could be back at any time. We have a lot of Super NES games to get through, so let's do it! Kicking us off with number 200, Joe and Mac 2. A great little game which is playable, funny and occasionally ingenious. But how much? Number 199, Adventures of Batman and Robin. A pretty uneven game in which all the disparate elements only occasionally come together to create something truly awesome. Fans of the series, though, will love the authentic atmosphere. Number 198, Ogre Battle. The sheer pleasure of kicking in a squad of paladins with a zombie dragon unit almost makes up for the game's lack of variation, so fantasy fans should definitely give it a look. The scheme do/thigh arrangement is purely optional, however. Number 197, Syndicate. Not the classic you'll find on other formats, but it's still a tidy little strategy shooter with a compulsive playability. Number 196, Battletoads in Battlemaniacs. Varied beat-em-up/shoot-em-up/platformer of assorted degrees of competence, but always funny and challenging. Needless to say, great with two. Number 195, Breath of Fire. Accessible but ultimately lightweight Final Fantasy style RPG with smarter graphics, but less plot. Excellent, but you might have a bigger selection of RPGs very shortly. Number 194, World Heroes 2. World Heroes 2 has a definite Neo Geo fighting game feel, which is fine if you know what to expect. Street Fighter 2 stalwarts may not be immediately keen, but take time to learn its feel, and you'll realise that there's more to life than Street Fighter 2. But not much. Number 193, Mega Man X2. Although just a slight upgrade to Mega Man X does not make a bad game, the potential of a special graphics chip to give the series a new lease on life hasn't been realised. A superior platformer and a good solid game, but unfortunately nothing new. Number 192, Super Turrican. A fast, smooth platform shoot-em-up, overflowing with smart graphics and sound. Despite some minor improvements, this ain't that different from Amiga Turrican games. It's slick and playable, but lacking in the major league thrills that we're now used to. Number 191, Demon's Crest. A very nearly wonderful game, with show-stopping graphics and a great bulging sack full of neat touches. If only Capcom could address those difficulty defects. Number 190, Pinball Fantasies. A good pinball game, but not half as neat as the one which we're all sure could have been written. The Super Nintendo deserves the best, and this could have been done with 4 extra meg, and that's still imaginary game. Number 189, Brainlord. Not what you'd call the future of role-playing games, but fans of Soul Blazer won't be disappointed by this action-heavy scabbard wobbler from the NX stable. Number 188, Zoop. There can be no doubt that, yes, this is a puzzle game. Not an earth-shattering, Super Nintendo stretching, terrifying, captivating, radical experience, just one to while away a dozen afternoons chasing a high score. Number 187, Megalomania. I must say I'm quite pleased with my test to find out whether or not you like war games, and I like this. It's got some great synthesized speech in it as well. Number 186, Mortal Kombat! Really smart looking and as close to the arcade original as one could hope for, bar the loss of blood. But was Mortal Kombat really that great a game in the first place? Number 185, Disney's Aladdin. Great to look at, very involving, and jam-packed with laughs. Just like the film, in fact. But in no time at all, it's all over. And, that's it. It depends what you're after, really. A short, intense burst of gaming heaven, or something you're still going to be playing a week later. Number 184, Secret of Evermore. Placed in the glare of the best of Square's Japanese games, Evermore withers, wilts, and goes a bit manky at the edges. A lot of effort has gone into its production though, and it's certainly a welcome UK release. Number 183, Out of This World. If you fancy a change from the usual platform game experience, this is certainly a good bet. But if what you really want from your £45 is bags of gameplay and a lasting challenge, and why shouldn't you, you're probably better off shopping elsewhere. Number 182, Breath of Fire 2. Don't misunderstand the score. This game has undeniable flaws, enough to put off the novices and the action fans, so I can't recommend it unreservedly. But if you're a hardcore pointy hat like me, then Breath of Fire 2 is an essential purchase. Number 181, Super Mario RPG. A short, cute, and extremely simplistic introduction to role-playing by Nintendo's most famous character. Buy the translation for a younger relative and look over their shoulder to see the wacky bits. Number 180, Dragon's Lair. If you don't mind the dissimilarities with Dragon's Lair proper, the sadistic, and there's no other word for it, difficulty level and the teeth marks that are more than likely going to appear on your joypad as a result, this polished and wonderfully playable platform game can be highly recommended. And it's British too! Number 179, Judge Dredd. Doesn't even try to do justice to the license, but thankfully it still manages to deliver a bucket load of classically powerful platform action. Oh, and it's one of the hardest games of this sort I've played. Number 178, Dracula Kid. There's Japanese text, but not enough to prevent some serious enjoyment in this imaginative and ultra cute adventure. Hunt it down! Number 177, Addams Family. This one's really hard, but really imaginative and lots of fun. Number 176, Human Grand Prix. A really smart Formula 1 game with the huge advantage of a 2-player mode. It's a shame about the controls though, they'll drive you... Number 175, The Lion King. A very high quality platform game with little in the way of innovation. Everybody who loves platformers, great graphics, and The Lion King start queuing over there. Everybody who wants something new to play on their Super Nintendo, follow me. Number 174, Smash Ball. A simple game with ever so cute graphics which really gets to you after a while. Very addictive and great fun in 1 and especially 2-player mode. A surprise gem, Smash Ball. Number 173, Spike McFang. Packed with everything that's good about Japanese game design. This represents a good buy for Zelda/Soul Blazer fans everywhere. You know, that kind of game looks familiar. Wait, isn't that number 178 Kid Dracula? Perhaps this is a good time to check in with Cyril and see if he caught this mistake. Cyril, are you there?
Oh, hi Lorne. I'm just standing here in this big long line.
Q.
What?
So, Cyril, I don't suppose you noticed that you listed both Kid Dracula and Spike McFang in this Super Play list?
You mean in the next episode?
That's right. Didn't you see that these are the same games with the exact same score?
Oh, hang on, those aren't the same game. Kid Dracula was a Game Boy game from Konami, and isn't the Twisted Tales of Spike McFang from, like, Bulletproof Software? Oh, wait a second, hold on. Oh, I know what happened. You see, when Superplay first reviewed the Japanese game in issue 10, they called it Dracula Kid, which is not the actual name. I guess I just didn't notice that they also listed Spike McFang when I finalized the list. I should have caught that. You're right.
But you know, that completely throws the countdown off. If people actually want to be accurate, now they'll need to subtract one from every single score. That sounds like a real hassle.
Well, I mean, it doesn't really throw the whole thing off. I'm sure people won't mind. I mean, I just apologized for getting the Ranma 1/2 games wrong last episode, and everybody loved the honesty. They were all for it. I'm sure they'll understand how I could include both Spike McFang and Dracula Kid, thinking that they were two completely different games. It really is an innocent mistake.
I mean, you already got caught lying about there being 600 games, and now we find out that there aren't even 594. What kind of show are you running here? And let's not forget, you have Spike McFang at 173 and Kid Dracula at 178. They're the same game, the exact same game. It's almost as if you're numbering it completely arbitrarily. How is anybody supposed to trust you, Cyril?
Now hold on here, let's not go overboard. Look, I'll admit, I should have double-checked Dracula Kid, but come on. Is it really gonna ruin people's enjoyment of Super Play's Top 600?
Well, if I were you, I would cancel the whole thing and start from scratch. You owe it to the audience. In fact, now that I'm in control, I might just do that. We'll go all the way back to the beginning and count down Super Play's top 593. And we're not even going to round up, because that's for boomers. You'll see. You'll all see.
What do you mean by, now that I'm in control?
Oh, nothing. I'll let you get back to standing in your queue, or line as you Americans would say. I'll be here when you get back.
Wait.
Now then, what happens next? Oh, that's right, I toss it to a funny video and then it's back to the list. So, here's the funny video. Anytime now. Did I not set it up properly? Or say the right words? Well, this is awkward. Number 172, Pebble Beach Golf. Although this is the only golf game officially available in the UK at the moment, it's not a bad choice and is lots of fun, even if you don't like real life golf. Number 171, Super Swiv. One of the top, 8 scrolling shoot 'em ups on the Super Nintendo. Very slick, but strangely not as exciting as it could have been. Number 170, Soreyuke Ebisumaru Karakuri, Meiro Kieta Goemon no Nazo. While its format shows signs of age, Goemon 4 nevertheless provides the avid game fan with an Aladdin's cave of only in Japan video gaming. If you see it and you're feeling particularly adventurous, all its text is in Japanese, pick it up. Number 169, The Jungle Book. Big, bouncy and beautiful version of done the man cub and his jungle chums proud. Number 168, Donkey Kong Country 2. A better game than Donkey Kong Country, rougher at the edges, but with a little more depth of gameplay and fewer pointless frills. A fact that surprises me as much as you, I'm sure. Number 167, Ghoul Patrol. A gigantically entertaining, if small, silly gauntlet with impeccable presentation, a slightly disappointing sequel to Zombies Ate My Neighbors. The solution is elegantly simple. Buy both games. Number 166, Kikikaikai. Slick, lovable, very weird and enormously enjoyable. You'll never look at a raccoon in quite the same way again. Number 165, Cool Spot. Snazzy show-off platformer with a way cool character, but the fun's short-lived. If you can afford that, go ahead. Number 164, Super Family Tennis. As clean and polished looking as a tennis game can get, but Super Family Tennis lacks diverse controls and single-player thrills. As a 3 or 4 player super multi-tap game, it's a treat however. Number 163, Adventures of Mighty Max. Sony could have easily rush-released a load of old tat to ride on the recent wave of hype surrounding Mighty Max, but they didn't. They thought about it and came up with a strategy platformer better than anyone expected. Number 162, Dinosaurs. Dinosaurs is an utterly fabulous game and probably the best looking and most imaginative platformer of the system. If it wasn't so easy, it might even, and we've got to be careful here, have knocked Mario off his perch. Number 161, Exhaust Heat 2. Good looking and fast, F-Zero lookalike that requires a bit of getting into at first. No 2-player option, but it's still good fun. Number 160, Irem Skins Game. There are lots of really good golf games on the Super Nintendo, but this is probably the best of them. It's really slick and has a great golfing atmosphere, but it's a shame there's only one course. Number 159, Jungle Strike. Desert Strike again, but more so, which means it's not worth buying in addition to Desert Strike, but it is certainly the game to get instead of it. Number 158, Alred Chicken. Just when you think you've had your fill, Alred Chicken makes the plat formula worth playing again. Number 157, King Arthur's World. The controls are a total nightmare, and the presentation isn't great, but otherwise, this is an absorbing and extremely addictive little game. Keep an eye out for it. Number 156, F1 Pole Position. It's fast, it's fun, and you'll keep playing it for ages. F1 pole position is best played against another human, but enjoyable anyway. Come on, software publishers, let this be the last word in Mode 7 racing games. Number 155, Bulls vs Blazers. Another good basketball game. This one's not the slickest, but it's perhaps the most challenging and realistic game. Number 154, Euro Soccer Champ. A strange game, the rules don't help and the music wouldn't get past even Eurovision judges, but as it stands, it's the best kind around at the moment, and jolly good fun too. Number 153, Micro Machines. A little game with poor graphics, pipey, rather crap sound, and not a great deal to it. But play it once and you'll be hooked. Micro Machines is fun, you see, something other games have forgotten about. Fun, bloody fun. Number 152, Super Tetris and Bombless. Playing Tetris on a Super Nintendo is a bit like driving to Sainsbury's in a Lamborghini, but Tetris is Tetris, and this version is just as addictive as any other. And finally, number 151, Ardy Lightfoot. A neat game with great cartoon-style graphics. There isn't quite enough here for the seasoned game player, but as a my first platform game, it's got everything. So, what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that putting one of these Superplay episodes together is not as easy as Cyril makes it look. I also learned that Superplay will sometimes just give up on a review. Take Human Grand Prix as an example. They couldn't even be bothered to say they'll drive you round the bend before getting so frustrated that they quit the review. And that's not even the first time. They were constantly doing that in the first few episodes. How are we this late in the series and Superplay is still that frustrating? There's no satisfying Jonathan Davis. And that brings me to my next point.
Hey, what do you think you're doing?
Oh, you're back so soon. Did you get the refund?
Never mind the advent calendar. I rushed back when you were talking about taking over the show. Did you just do episode 9 without me?
Well...
Lorne, did you just take over the show?
Look, it's not fair that you're hosting the show. It's a British magazine. It shouldn't be hosted by an American. It's just wrong. It's sordid and dirty and wrong. This show needs me.
What? No, get out of here with that. This is my show, and I'm going to be the one that counts down the final Super NES games. Get out of here. And here's your stupid advent calendar. Alright, gang, we'll be back on Friday the 24th to clean up this mess and count down the next 50 games in Superplay's Top 600. I honestly don't know what happened, and I promise that it's never going to happen again. I'm just going to assess the damages and right this ship going forward, starting this Friday. So tune in on Christmas Eve for our look at number 150 through 101. You know, unless Lorne has secretly done that episode too. We'll be back on Friday. Hey, thanks for watching this new episode of Superplay's Top 600. If you liked what you saw here, then you should know that we only have 3 episodes left. That's right, we're going to be naming Superplay's top reviewed game on New Year's Eve. If you've missed any of the past episodes, then don't worry, we have a whole playlist designed to be binged. Now, here's the question I have for you. What did you learn from Superplay this episode? Personally, I learned that Demon's Crest has a great bulging sack of neat touches. Apparently there's a reason why you don't hear video games described as having great bulging sacks these days. In other news, we'll be back tomorrow with a Christmas-themed episode of Game Over, followed by Superplay's Top 600 episode 10 on Friday. If that sounds good to you, then I strongly recommend you click that subscribe button and support what we're doing here. Until then.